I am so excited for this conversation today with Shanee. I've been following her for 4 years and I've seen her go from a few thousand followers when I had 17 to 1.1 million. And when I went to 30,000. So I'm thinking, I don't get it. How did she get from where she is to where she is now? And why not me? What is she doing differently? She, at one point in her life, she was on welfare, a single mom. She got a job with a boss. Her daughter was in the NICU, and the boss told her that if you don't come back to work, you're fired. She quit her job and she started going with her strength and her passion, which was blogging. A few years later, here she is serving hundreds of clients, a multi-million-dollar annual business, Growth Academy. And today, I want to talk to her about her onboarding program on LinkedIn, LinkedInpreneurs, and find out how she can help you and get some ideas and tips because there's so many out there, LinkedIn gurus. There's new ones popping up each and every day. And so welcome, Shanee. It's great to have you. I've been trying to get this interview for 3 years.
Hey, Chaz. Thank you so much for having me.
Real quick question before we get into our conversation. I was talking with a real estate broker from New York, and she's on LinkedIn, and she said, Chaz, I hear all these things about LinkedIn, but I just don't get it with content. And she's using another LinkedIn program, but she said, there's all these recordings and I'm going through them. I don't understand the idea with content and connecting to my audience. Can you hit on that before we go a little bit deeper? Because I'd like to get your thoughts on that.
For someone like her, I would just say, think of your favorite influencer and think of how they've really earned your respect, your awareness. Someone like Gary Vee, how did he make her know that he exists? How did he earn her trust over the last year or 2 or 5 or 10? How has he been able to become relatable to her even though she's never met him before? And when you audit your own behavior and understand he's done it through content and through meeting me where I am and through being authentic, through being on video, then it becomes apparent what we need to do the same thing for the people that we could serve.
And that's the beauty of what you do and the science behind what you do, Shanee, is people don't understand. You got to connect with people emotionally.
Yeah.
So I'm curious with what do you do exactly? Because there's new LinkedIn gurus popping up each and every day. How is it different with what you do to help your clients within your course, how you coach them within your program? How is it different for maybe other things that they may have tried in the past? There's a lot of healthy skepticism out there.
Yeah, it's number one, it's not a course. That's the first thing because courses are an on-demand experience. Even though the information could be beneficial, a lot of the times it requires someone to go act on it without any guidance. And 9 out of 10 times when you're going into something new, that's not going to be you, right? And so it's an experience. The first part is they show up for 21 days and they literally learn the skill of content and video by not watching a video, but by participating and doing the work and being held accountable. By that time, they basically have built the habit. It's an experience that through accountability is designed for you to not just create content, to become the type of person that does far after the program. And then to have that feedback along the way, if you're stuck on a prompt or a script or learning from others, so peers are involved. And a lot of the times as creators, we're not surrounded by other creators. People around you may not understand the struggles that you're going through. And so it also gives them a community of other business owners who are also creators who understand the struggles that they get talked to. And that's just the tip of it.
And the other thing that's really cool, I've been following Shanee and I'm like, man, success leaves clues. And so I went to one of her webinars because I was just trying to get information to improve my webinar. I had no plan to purchase or spend time working with Shanee, learning from Shanee. But by the end of the webinar, I paid, I became your client. And we've spent a lot of time together. I think we've had 18 one-on-one hour sessions, and I've learned so much. The thing that kind of blew me away is all the sessions are live with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's just so different. You get to engage with Shanee, and then you have a group of other entrepreneurs, and then those combined help you get content out there.
That's a great point, because there are people that join and they're like, oh, it's really you. And the thing is that they've bought stuff in the past and then they get passed off to a moderator. I'm currently having this discussion because I'm scaling internally, and that's just not something that I want to do, because I think that it's like tricking people. You're using one person and then they never get to see that person or interact with them. And we're just not going to do that. We stay authentic. Are we going to add some like support for attendance and stuff like that? Yes. But I also think the second differentiator is I love to teach. And so I thoroughly enjoy the process, and it shows in timeliness, enthusiasm, and the time and effort in the design of this whole structure.
When I found out it was you live, I couldn't believe it, because so much time I've spent with you is caught just by seeing how you run your business and how you think. With Linkpreneurs, with the 21 days, who would be the person that would be the right match to consider working with you?
Someone who wants inbound clients, who is not afraid to do video, right? So it's either the person who's been trying to do content but has really not had that much success, and they're already established, right? Because I have those clients where maybe you already have a multi-million-dollar business, or maybe you already have a business that's operating with a team, but maybe you want to dabble into consulting or coaching, and you know that to do that, you need some sort of influence. Maybe you're already established and you want to write a book in a year, and you also know that you need to grow a community, right? And so it's either that person or it's a coach that I'd say is between 10 to 25K a month, but they're mainly relying on outbound. And they know that to get to the next level in terms of partnerships and in terms of the type of quality clients that they attract, they know that they need inbound.
And
but if
I've
you're
told
not
you that.
willing to create content, I'm not the person to come to.
Yeah, that's good to differentiate, because it's not about working with everybody. It's about working with those people that are the best fit for you.
Right.
That's so important to distinguish that. Maria,
Yeah.
could you tell her story, because it's amazing? And this, because people, what do people care about? They don't care about you and me. Unfortunately, they care about themselves, and they care about the outcome. If they work with Shanee, what are the outcomes are they going to get? And I think Maria is a really good example of that. If you could tell her story, I think that would be great.
Yeah. So Maria joined in January, like January 3rd. And I think she had 3,500 connections. And now in 5.5 months, she's over 120,000 followers. But Maria did the work. She's been consistent, and she really wanted it, because it's not easy. And she's not the only like mega success story. Christopher Hummel, he almost has 1 million followers today on LinkedIn. And when I started working with him, he had around 5,000 followers, got him to over 100,000 in 9 months. So,
and here's the other thing, because people think it's, because I was talking to people, and as we're looking to you get more and more and more followers, and it's easy to criticize someone who's up here because they're revealing a weakness in yourself. I'm just like, man, I want to learn from her. But the people that I was talking to, it's like, followers isn't important. What do you say to those people? Because they're talking about scheduling qualified meetings.
depends on what you want. I know people that have made $10 million from LinkedIn this year that have 5,000 followers. That person's doing it just through automation, outbound, heavy outbound. So,
Right.
and let me preface, that person also has the emotional intelligence and business skills to do that. They run like 13 other businesses. This isn't like that person's first rodeo. But that person doesn't care about necessarily influencing others and maybe releasing a book one day, maybe, having a podcast with a big listenership, and that person doesn't care about inbound. So it really just depends. Like, what do you want? There is no right or wrong way. But for me, I hated outbound. So content just made perfect sense for how I could build my business in the most authentic way possible for me. And it just depends on what type of person you are.
I love that. I love that answer. When I ask you a question, I never know what you're going to say because you just give the truth. And with Maria, she had 100,000 followers now, but didn't her calendar like fill up for like a month and a half? She had her, so it wasn't that she's getting a lot of followers, yes, but she was actually getting meetings and clients because of the content was connecting emotionally with her audience.
I don't want to put numbers out there because of her privacy in terms of the money
Okay,
part, but I'll just say that her life has completely changed on that.
I respect that. And for everyone out there, I teach people how to use LinkedIn, but it was like 60% outbound, 40% inbound. With Shanee, now it's 90% inbound, 10% outbound. And just so everyone out there, because there's new people on LinkedIn all the time, I was talking to someone and they're like, what do you mean inbound, outbound? Outbound is you're reaching out to someone cold with a direct message. Inbound is they're reaching out to you because they see your post or your content. Mm-hmm. So going back to the skepticism, because people see success stories, we're talking about Christopher, we're talking about Maria, and there's so many other people that you've helped. I'm one of them. How do they know this is real and for them?
How do they know that this is real? They could reach out to anyone I just mentioned, right? Or reach out to you. But it really comes down to, I think that, are you willing to just do the work for 21 days? If the answer is no, then this is probably not for you. And if the answer is yes, then it probably is. And because at the end of the day, we can email you if you miss a meeting, but we've literally designed a process that will increase your chances of success. You really have to ask yourself, do you want to change the results that you're getting in a way where you attract clients? And if the answer is yes, and you're willing to invest 20 minutes of your time for 21 days, then it is what it is.
Can you help with this? Because I know that I'm still learning so much with content. And I don't know if you call it a formula. Can you give people an idea and understanding why some content resonates with others and other people are putting out content posts daily and not resonating? What's the difference, and how do you help people move from not engaging with their audience to engaging with their audience, getting inbound traffic, and being able to schedule meetings from their content?
I think the biggest difference is understanding what their audience needs and wants. And that's part of this process. If you don't know what will make someone stop, if you don't know what to say to get someone's attention in a way that is helpful to them, then you will just continue to hit a brick wall, right? And there are certain processes, even within your business, that you could put in place, questions that clients ask you, things that they say that you're not paying attention to, that could easily be leveraged into content that gets more people like them in your doors. One of the factors that I help my clients with is understanding people, especially the people they can serve.
It's huge. And at the core of emotional intelligence, because a lot of times people don't understand what that is, I mean, you're reaching people on what's important to them.
I'll also add this. It's also understanding that people exist outside of what you do for them. The reason why you may gravitate towards someone like Gary Vee, he's not necessarily stuffing his services down your throat 24/7, right? You resonate with him maybe because you're also a dad, or maybe because you were also in a family business. There are so many facets to the people that we serve, and people fail to understand that. And they fail to build that emotional connection with their audience because of it.
And you talk about the who, and if you don't know who your audience is and what's important to them, that was an aha moment for me, because 80% of my clients are dog owners.
Yeah, there you go.
And so I have lessons from Louie, which is my dog, my Australian Shepherd, my CFO, Chief Fun Officer. But when I post about my dog or fitness, a high percentage of the people in my audience are into health and fitness. It connects with them in a way that people don't understand and realize. I was talking with a lady the other day. She was not a good fit for me. She just was thinking about videos and talking about personal stuff. Why do that? I just want to talk about my business and who I serve and the features and benefits. And she wasn't getting any engagement in her content, and she was not coachable. And so you have that mindset and that perspective, and it keeps you from connecting with your audience. That was one of the many aha moments when I saw you go from a few thousand followers to 1.1, and I went from 17,000 to 30K. It's those little things that you understand about the who, your target market, that when you connect with them, it's like, wow, I can relate to this person. Is there anything like a overall tip or strategy that you can give people that they can take away from this today?
Do the work. And I know people hate to receive this advice, but you have to start auditing your own behavior. I needed a photographer recently, and the only reason why I contacted this one person in a split second is because I had seen her post for like 3 months, and I had seen her evolve. I saw her shooting different families and growing her team. And so when I needed a family photographer, I was the first person that came to my brain was her. And so I reached out to her and I paid her an hour later. And if you're not willing to put in the work and the consistency now, when your prospect needs whatever it is that you offer 30 to 60 days from now, they're not going to think of you.
Exactly. But they need to connect with them. So how do people reach you? What's the best way for people to connect with you, to learn more about how you could potentially help them?
The best way is to either message me on LinkedIn or to go to yougrow.club and join the next masterclass.
They do that, and then is there a step where they like, oh, I have an option to get started with you? Or
they could decide at the end of the masterclass whether they trust me and themselves enough to move forward. And if they do, then they join.
What do they have to lose?
Nothing, because if it doesn't work for them and they do the work, they get a refund anyway.
So you guarantee results if they show up and do the work and don't get results, I should say?
Yeah. If you show up and do the work, and we haven't had anyone yet that has shown up throughout the whole process and that has not gotten the results.
Here you are listening to Shanee, who's built her business and has helped hundreds of clients grow their business. Inbound traffic, meaning people reach out to you because you're building confidence in their minds about you being able to solve their problem. If you are on LinkedIn and you want to grow your business or influence, because you work with creators and you work with businesses both, correct?
Yeah. In this day and age, most business owners who have kind of not taken LinkedIn seriously are starting to. So they have to learn how to be a business owner, continue the operations while building basically an internal media company and becoming a creator in the process to market their business through their personal brand.
You mentioned Gary Vee, and Gary Vee said, as a business owner, if you don't understand your company as a media company, then you're going to miss out. Reach out to Shanee. Any other last words for us before we end?
No. Thank you, Chaz. I appreciate it. And I look forward to helping those who are serious and ready to take action to get to the next level.